Hey guys, I'm Annie Designs and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can tell, today I am dressed as Charmander. Today I'm doing the Costume Quarantine 20 Questions, which is a challenge issued by So Loud here on YouTube. I'll put some links in the description to her video and where all the questions can be found. I found this to be a lot of fun to do, and a lot of other people are doing this while in much fancier costumes, but I decided it'd be kind of fun to do it in my Charmander onesie that I made a few years ago. Oh, there's thread on it. But a onesie is a very comfortable thing to wear, and that is kind of the thing with quarantine. Everyone's just kind of dressed comfortably and stuff, so I figured it'd be appropriate. That, and it's just so cozy to wear. So do keep in mind that a lot of these questions were created with historical costuming in mind, and while I am highly interested in historical costuming, it's not something I've gone into yet, so I'll be answering this from the perspective of a cosplayer and someone who studied in fashion and costuming, not as a historical costumer. So my interpretation of the questions might be a little different, etc. So let's get going. Question number 1. What was your first costume? My first costume was Zarya from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which my mom and I made together when I was 13 years old. Picture over here. It's a little awkward because I started outgrowing it basically as soon as I made it, because again, I was 13 years old, a growing child. Question number 2, what is your favorite costume or the costume you are most proud of? Probably my Tomoyo, my Princess Tomoyo from Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. I really love how I look in that costume. I like all the detail on it. I love the purple fabric on it so much. It was such a joy to work with. And it, like, all the sewing turned out really well because, again, it was so nice to work with. Number 3, costume I dream of making. There's actually quite a few I dream of making. As far as characters go, Princess Zelda from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess is probably one of my big dream projects. Hoping to do that once I can afford to make it. And I also, again, I really want to try doing historical costuming, and one of my favorite eras of dress is the Rococo period, so I'd really love to try making un robe français or anglais and try to make one of those gowns. They're so pretty. Question number 4. What is a sewing task you love and a sewing task you hate? Sewing task I hate. I'm going to start with that one first. My least favorite part of working on sewing is actually cutting everything out. I do not enjoy that one bit, but I also realize it's pretty necessary in order to do the rest of the sewing. Sewing task I actually really like is most hand sewing. I really enjoy slip stitching down linings. I really enjoy slip stitching things closed. I really like slip stitching. I've gotten pretty good at it too. Question number 5. Would you rather work with wool or silk? Again, this is probably coming as a question from the perspective of someone who does a lot of historical work. But in my case, I've actually used both in both cosplay and in school and such. And I've gotta say, I think I prefer certain types of silk. That's mostly because they are usually really shiny, really pretty, and things like that. And I like shiny, pretty things like that. Not to say that I don't like wool. I love working in wool. There's obviously different times and places for each one though, but if you gave me the option of working on a wool garment or a silk one, depending on the silk fabric, I'll probably go with the silk. Question number 6. Would you rather go to themed events or events where you can pick the theme of what you're wearing? I prefer events where you can pick what you're wearing. My perspective, I have mostly gone to events like conventions, so Comic Cons, anime cons, things like that. I prefer events that are a little bit more freeing on what you can wear. That's one reason I was really excited for Costume Con before it was canceled, because I knew there would be people in historical, people in original designs, people as anime characters, people as comic book characters. I knew there would be a cool combination of all that from what I've seen from former years of the event. So I was really looking forward to that, and then, it was canceled due to the coronavirus. Question number 7. Would you rather go to a big ball or go to an intimate dinner for costuming? Considering I haven't really experienced either of them, again, I'm more of a cosplayer than a historical costumer, I would really love to experience a big ball of some kind. Oh my gosh, I would really love that. I've seen a lot of stuff online of people attending big themed balls and such like that in their historical garments, and oh, that looks so lovely. But usually I feel like I'd be more of the type of person who would enjoy an intimate meal with just your friends in historical dress. But again, it's not something I've experienced yet, so I can't really tell the difference, and I just really want to experience going to a big ball. Question number 8. Do you prefer to hand sew or to machine sew? Now, of course, I feel like in my perspective, I say that there's a time and a place for both things. For certain things, I much prefer using my machine. Certain things, I much prefer sewing by hand. But all in all, I actually really do enjoy hand sewing because it's just very relaxing. I can multitask while doing it a little easier than I can compared to when I'm doing the machine sewing, because I really, really enjoy hand sewing a lot. Question number 9. Do you like wigs, hair pieces, or using your natural hair? Cosplayer perspective, I much prefer using wigs, and that is only because this hair doesn't look like any character that exists out there. But with historical dress, I think I would actually prefer to use my natural hair as much as I possibly can, and that is because my hairline is very sensitive, so wigs bother me very, very quickly. No matter the quality of the wig, it will bother me after a few hours. So if I can use my natural hair with maybe a few hair pieces, that would be awesome. But in cosplay, I've not come across characters that are like that yet. Gotta find one of those. Question number 10. Name 5 small businesses where you get your costuming things from. In my case, I actually purchase most of my costuming related things from 2 sources, 2 small businesses. And that would be Giroux's Sewing Center over at home. I've mentioned a few times on my channel, but it is a sewing center. It has sewing machines, all the equipment you might need, fabric, all the notions you might need, all sorts of trims, like everything you could possibly need for actually making garments. And the other one I also use a lot is Art Wigs Canada. It's where I purchase all my wigs and my crafting supplies as well. So that's kind of where I get all the things I actually need. So I'm just gonna mention those 2 because those are really the main 2 I use. Question number 11. Name 5 YouTubers that you would recommend everyone watching this video check out. So off the top of my head, Kiri Lee Cosplay, would highly recommend her. If you like my content, you're gonna like hers even more. Simple way to put that. More cosplay content, and she is very, very, very skilled and knows what she's talking about and has really cool experiences, so definitely go check her out. Bernadette Banner, oh my god, I adore her. Ever since I've seen her in her video where she's comparing the knockoff of her dress, I think I've been in love. Also, she does a lot of historical things, which is also stuff, again, I want to try that. So I really, really admire her videos and the amount of effort she puts into all of her garments. I'd also recommend, if you like cosplay, to check out Anya Panda. She is adorable, has some really fun story times, and also, like me, is very interested in Lolita fashion and recently has been doing videos on the subject, so definitely go check her out. And last but not least, I'm going to shout out 2 of my very close friends who also have YouTube channels, Bandit Spurs Cosplay and Megwin Cosplay. Both of them have a very good variety of con vlogs, sewing progress things, and things like that. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Number 12, favorite color. Pink. I love pink so much that Pinky was my high school nickname, and some people still know me as Pinky. Question 13, pearls or sparkles? This is a hard one because pearls are actually my birthstone, but I think I'm definitely more of a sparkle person. I like glittery things, I like shiny things, so probably sparkles. Question number 14, what is a costuming related trip you have dreamt of taking or going on? Oh god, there's so many. There are conventions around the world I would love to check out, but honestly, ever since seeing some videos of Costume College in the States, I definitely want to go to that. I really would love to experience that for myself. It's apparently very similar to Costume Con, which again is another thing I would like to experience because the Costume Con I was supposed to attend was canceled literally the day before it was supposed to happen. So I really like to experience those kind of events a bit more because it seems like a really great place to learn lots of stuff. And I really love learning more and more about costuming, especially about period costuming. Question 15, favorite cocktail? Strawberry daiquiri. I am pretty basic. Does that count as a cocktail? I don't know enough about cocktails. Eesh, yikes. Question 16, who is a costumer you would love to meet? I've mentioned her already in this video, but I would love to meet Bernadette Banner. Again, the sassiness she had in that first video I was introduced to her with was incredible, and she's very, very skilled and has a lot of knowledge. I would just love to pick her brains on all sorts of costuming related things. She seems really, really cool. Question number 17, do you prefer using plain or pattern fabric? I honestly usually prefer plain because there's a lot of patterns I'm not fond of, and I find there's a lot more you can kind of dress up on plain compared to pattern, because patterning can be a little more difficult to dress up and make a little fancier sometimes, depending on the print. It really depends on the print. Question number 18. Do you prefer to use an already made pattern or make your own? I really honestly prefer to make my own patterns. I find pattern drafting very enjoyable. I find draping patterns very enjoyable, and it's kind of satisfying to do. And yeah, I love the costumes I try to make for cosplay as well. They're just not existing patterns unless someone like Yaya Hunt has already made a pattern for them. So if I'm really lucky, those exist, and that'll make making that costume a little easier. But yeah, usually I prefer to make them myself. It's just very satisfying to do. Question 19. This one is definitely more for the historical costumers, but I can answer it. And the question is, what is your favorite era of costume to wear, and what is your favorite era of costume to make? So I've actually experienced getting to wear some historical dress, and I worked at a historical site which took place in the 1860s, and I've got to say I really enjoyed wearing that time period's dress. I also got to talk about it. That was part of my job. So I was in the dressmaker's house. I was basically the role of the dressmaker, explaining to visitors basically the fashions of the era. Honestly, best job ever. It was amazing. And I really enjoyed the way I looked in that costume, and it was very comfortable as well. And I also experienced working in the costuming department of the site as well, and I really enjoyed everything I made in there. It was really satisfying stuff to make. I got to learn techniques that were more historically inspired and such like that to make these outfits for the interpreters on site. It was really cool. And finally, we're at question 20. And the question is, what is something that we don't know about you? Most of my followers are very unaware of this. Most people are unaware of this unless they know me quite personally, and that is that I'm a twin. I have a twin sister, fraternal twin sister. And I would really like her to get into costume with me one day, but I doubt that will ever happen because she's not interested in it at all. We're total opposites. So yeah, I got a twin sister. And to answer your questions, yes, I am the younger of the two. So this has been 20 questions issued by some of the costubers here on YouTube. So I hope it was interesting to you, and be sure to go check out some of the other ones. I believe there's a playlist of all the different costubers who have done this challenge, I suppose. And you can learn a lot about the people that you're watching on YouTube through these kind of questions. It's really quite fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it seems like everyone else did as well. So if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.